What's up, guys? Lockhart here, bringing you another Magic and Sorcerer build video for the Summerset patch. This one is a ganking build for Cyrodiil. A lot of pros and cons. Disclaimer, this is not a 1vx build. This is a kill 1-2 people, get the fuck out kind of build. So if that's not your playstyle, then obviously don't run the build. This is the hardest hitting build in the game as far as ganking is concerned. We have a 35k tooltip on Overload, which is easily the hardest hitting spell currently in the game. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. First, we're going to go over the gear. First set we're running is 5-piece Elegant. This is only on our front bar over here so you guys can read the tooltips. This is a named staff. It's pretty easy to farm in case you're low on funds. You will go to Ariadon. There is a den called the Nest Mothers, I think, something like that. Nest Mother's Den. There's a snake in there. Kill it. Has about 5-10% chance of dropping the staff. It's a flame staff, which is what you need for the build. So there's that, and then we're running 3 jewelry, all spell damage. You may have to buy these. If you want to farm them, just go to Ariadon and do the Dolmen. You should get these in like half an hour if you have a couple of people with you also running the Dolmens. We have Nirnhone on our staff. I'll explain why we have Nirnhone a little bit more in a moment, along with a Shock Enchant. Also, I will explain that in just a moment, because most of this boils down to what's on our overload bar, not what our overall stats look like. Next that we're running is a 1-piece Willpower on the back. It gives you the 1400 max match, which helps out our shields. As far as the 2 pieces, we're running 2 monster pieces. We're running whatever 2 stat pieces you want. It can be Domi House, Infernal Guardian, Lambris, Grothgar, doesn't matter. But optimally, you want Domi House and 1 other Magicka piece. Running 5-1-1 for the most damage you can have possible. Running Infuse on the big pieces, Impin on the smaller pieces in case we do get into some skirmishes. Your gangster are not always going to work out. Shit's going to happen. So you need a little bit more of a defense against that. So the next set we're running is 5-piece Innate Axiom. You guys can read it. Essentially, it gives you 400 spell weapon damage to your class abilities. This does apply to your overload, so that's why we're using it. And we don't require anything to proc it, so it's just raw damage. It gives it crit that we need. Stamina, magic, everything about this is good. No reason you should not run it. And that does it for the gear setup. It's pretty simple, pretty cheap. Innate Axiom is only 2 trait, easily craftable. It does it for the gear. Take a look at the character sheet. Like I said, this is completely irrelevant. But as far as passives go, we're running Vampirism just for the passive so you can get in and out of stealth a lot quickly. Running the Mage. You could probably run the Apprentice, gives you a tad bit more damage, but like I said, your games don't always work out and you need a little bit of defense, so having mass magical is really great. Running Bi-Stat Foods as well. I have 4 mans left on them, but anyway. That gives us the most max we can get. There's a couple of foods out there that'll give you more max mag, but like I said, in case shit hits the fan, you need a little contingency plan. Just quickly going through everything. These bars aren't set in stone. Now our overload bar kind of is, so we'll go over that. Running Crystal Fragments, Haunting Curse, Rune Cage, Force Pulse, Power Surge. Important you have this skill here or on your back bar, not on your overload bar. And we have Overload. Back bar. 3 wards, Elusive Mist, Ball Lightning. This is the more defensive Morpheus Streak. You need to be able to get the fuck out in case shit hits a fan. You cannot sustain in elongated fights. You'll get shit packed every time, and you'll find yourself running to the gang spot. They find you dying. So it's better that you get the fuck out and get away. All right. So it's pretty common setup. And then we have Temporal Guard. This is from the Sigil skill line. It's not necessary, but it's nice. Gives you minor protection on your back bar. And also provides you with a rewind ability in case the Zerg's chasing you. Streak. Rewind all the way back to where you was. You throw off the Zergs, and hopefully you can get away. Okay. So, and naturally you need all your passives. I am a high elf. This gives us the shock damage passive, which you need for a harder hitting overload. Okay, so try to run high elf. If not, it's not the end of the world, but you will be missing out some damage. It won't be min-max. So, the important bar, overload bar. This is pretty much set in stone. Besides the RB, you need Inner Light, Hardened Ward in case you need a ward on that bar. You never know. Someone may be able, ganking you, and you need access to a ward that's not going to be on a different bar. You need it instantaneously. have an Endless Fury for the executes. They changed bound ages to this patch to where you get the 8% wherever it's slotted. You don't have to have it double slotted anywhere. And the last one is Imbuing the Weapon. This is kind of a flex spot, but if you're wanting to run a bug, I'm going to show you. You can do that. I'm going to show you how to use it with Imbuing the Weapon. And our power overload. Notice it's at 26k right now. Recent changes to the empowerment buff allows us to have one of the hardest hitting spell in the entire game. Super cheap. It's a 35k overload on tooltip. If you get another light attack off Hydra, it does additional damage, which is great. So back to the weapon traits and why we're running this shit. So when we use overload, you're going to, of course, have your buff up. You're going to empower. You're going to light attack, and once you light attack, the shock damage is also going to proc on that light attack. So that's an additional burst coming from that. So it's more like a 38k and some change tooltip. Plus this can proc concussion and it can proc implosion. Nernhone, whatever traits you have on your weapons, they carry over to your overload bar. Not the passive, just the traits. So, for example, if you're in dual wield, right, you have access to Nernhone and Sharpened. It may provide slightly bit more damage, but your survivability is greatly increased when you have a Destro Staff, right? And good luck getting the swords. They're pretty expensive, elegant right now. So this is definitely a cheap, in my opinion, a better alternative to running dual wield. You don't have to worry about pets. Don't have to worry about any of that shit. It's a very reliable setup. If you wanted to kill a higher health targets, this build, if it crits, will pretty much one-shot anyone below 25k. Once you go over a 25k threshold, you may need crystal frags. At very long distances, pretty much almost the max, you can channel a hardened frag into a light attack execute, and it'll hit pretty much simultaneously. Now, if you're a little bit closer, you may want to run something like, it's called Crystal Barrage. It's the other morph of Crystal Frags. It gives you a more of an arc on your Crystal Frag, which is a little bit more hang time for you to line up your light attack to hit simultaneously. That's also an option, but Crystal Frag works just as well. So your basic burst rotation, very simple, be buffed up, be sneaking in your overload bar. You're going to use the inner light from stealth, and you're just going to light attack, and that's it. You know, that's almost a 50k light attack on a target dummy, which have like I think 20k resistances. All right, so half of that serial is 20k. Plus you're going to toss in execute and that, plus the shock enchantment. Anyone below 25k is fucking dead. So if you want to go higher than that, toss in the frag to the rotation. You can probably kill up to 34k health safely if nothing crits whatsoever. If you get some crits, you can probably kill people higher than that. But generally, if nothing's going to crit with the frag and the overload, you can probably kill someone at 30k health and less pretty reliably, and probably about 90% of the time. Now, if shit does crit, you know, it's hard to tell what you can probably kill people 45k health if everything crits, hopefully. But that's essentially a setup. Go over the champion points. The rest of the trees don't fucking matter if you made this far in the video. We're just going to go over the blue one. This is the only one that really matters. This is min-max. Do not try to change anything. Copy and paste this verbatim. 72. Elfborn, 64. 42. 72. There's no combination that you get to have a higher overload to make you do more damage. It's just not possible. I've wasted like 100k testing out all the different CP combinations, and also I debunked a lot of myths about what increases your overload damage. Physical Weapon Expert does not. Mighty does not. Thaumaturge does not. So don't even try to pump points in that because it's not going to help you whatsoever. Staff Expert does not. Trust me on this. The next two trees are just preference. 72, 5. Pretty even through here. And here. Light attacks do more damage this patch. That's why we get some points in the Expert Defender. Preference. Have one in the Siphoner because it applies a debuff. Whether the debuff does anything or not is completely irrelevant. If you're like having a hard time killing a Templar, they see the debuff on their bar, they try to purge it. And even though it's not doing anything, they're wasting their magic purging something that's not doing anything. So it's a really good value point. 16 Sprinter, reduce sprint a lot sometimes. So 51 Warlord. 43 Arcanist, Tenacity. In case of the 1vx scenarios, Tenacity is what helps us sustain. So you heavy attack into a curse, frag, rune cage. And typically, if they're kind of lower CP or whatever, or not as skilled, you can pretty much one-shot people with that. So Uh, 23 Shadow Ward, 48 Tumbling, 25 Shade. We sneak a lot. It is a ganking build, so there you go. That about does it for the build, guys. And of course, my game crashes once again going over the CP. I'm really glad this lasts. So please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers, guys. Please help me out. If there's anything I need to work on, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.